You're up, Commissioner.
Thank you. I will call this meeting to order. This is a scheduled public hearing of the Bannock County Board of Commissioners regarding a road validation. We are charged by law to keep a clear record of the hearing and to stay within county and state rules and regulations. The rules and procedures for today are as follows. This hearing is for public comment and is not a question and answer session. Everyone shall exhibit respectful behavior. There shall be no booing, hissing, or cheering. Maybe, we'll see. Please show respect for all opinions or comments given. Anyone deemed unruly will be escorted out of the building. Only one person will speak at a time, and we'll invite you up, and you will have 3 minutes to state your stance on the matter, okay? So when you come up, please state your name, and we'll go from there. In addition, if you're angry or upset, that's okay. Please don't take your anger out on us or the staff. Please keep your voice calm and your comments to the matter at hand. And if there's any questions, let me know. At this point in time, I will take a motion to open the public hearing.
Mr. Chairman, I'd make a motion that we open the public hearing.
We have a motion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, okay. Our first person who's signed in to speak is Dan Williams. Is that right, Dan? Come on up, Dan. Did you want to speak?
Well, I guess the first thing,
Have a seat right there.
you know, I really don't know exactly what the meeting is actually for. If you'd explain that, what we're discussing, what's the
Great.
problem, what we're discussing, you know, so we'll know what we're dealing with, I guess.
Okay, well, let's do this then. Dan, I'll invite you to sit back down, and I'll have council talk about the process of what we're here for. Then
Okay.
we'll open it back up for
I think it'd
public
be a good
comment.
way to start.
Okay, thank you. John?
Okay, so my name is Jonathan Radford, the Chief Civil Deputy here with the county. Road validation is a process, it's a legal process, it's defined by statute, under which the public or private nature of a road or right-of-way is made more certain. Road validation can become necessary for a number of reasons. Under statute, and that's Idaho Code Section 40-204A, the Board of Commissioners may initiate road validation proceedings when there is doubt as to the legal establishment or evidence of establishment of a highway or public right-of-way. To put that in layman's terms, when you look at a road and you can't tell whether it's public or private, that's when the Board of Commissioners can step in and initiate this hearing and this process. And that's the reason we are here today. The commissioners have determined that there is doubt as to the legal establishment of a public roadway in respect to Garden Creek Road. So the decision to be made by the board today, following this public hearing, is based upon whether validation or non-validation of Garden Creek Road is in the public interest. Now, just to make it clear, if the board determines to validate Garden Creek Road, that would clarify that that road or right-of-way is a public road. If the Board of Commissioners determines to not validate the road, that would clarify that that road is a private road. If the Commissioners make the determination that validation of the road is in the public interest, then Garden Creek Road will be recorded in the county records as a public road. And that's essentially the process that we're executing today.
Okay, thank you. And again, since we haven't done one of these for a long time, I think that was useful. I'm also going to invite Kyle Burmester from Road and Bridge to give us a staff report at this time, and then we'll let the public do their comments, and we'll go from there. So, Kyle?
Okay. So part of this validation is for us to, some of the criteria that is whether the road is changed drastically from throughout the years. Could be one part that would create a validation hearing. Other parts that we look for are maintenance. If county funds have been used for this road for the last 5 years, in the last 5 years, and any other documentation that we can find on it, whether it's commission meeting notes or maps. We do also have a county road map list that gets signed by the commission that's supposed to be done every 5 years. And that's some of the things we use to determine.
Okay, All right, thank you.
And just to clarify one other thing, Commissioner Huff, the purpose of the proceedings today is not to take a private road and make it public. It's to recognize the state of the road as it's existed in the past. And so it's a process for the commission to look back at use of the road, definition of the road, surveys of the road, and determine whether it's public or private.
Okay, thank you. All right, did that help clear things up? Okay, so I'll invite you back to speak if you would like. And again, you will have 3 minutes. We'll go from there.
Well, I guess I can testify.
State your name, please.
You know, I'm 70. I was born in I was not born in that old White House up there. but
Dan,
that's
you
where-
need to state your name, please, for the
Okay,
record.
Dan Williams. My address, 7740 Garden Creek Road, and I actually live on the road year-round. But anyway, as far as determining whether this is a private or a public road, it's been public for as long as I know, and a whole lot longer than that. It's never been considered a private road. The county's taken care of it as long as I can remember. And as far as saying it's a private road, it's just beyond the pale to me. There's been no fences, no gates, nothing like that. Nobody's that I've known of in the past has thought it was a private road. It's not a private road. And I feel it should be considered a public road. And then that's up to you guys what restrictions you put on it, because it is a public road. And I really don't know what more you can say. It's been that way for a hell of a long time. It's not something that's just come up in the last 20 years. It's been that way for probably 80 or 90 years, really. My dad homesteaded up there before World War II, so he got in there some way, you know. He just didn't tramps across people's fields, but in any event, it's been a maintained road for a long time.
Okay.
And that's just the way it is.
All right, thank you. Thank you. Sherilyn Munden?
My name is Sherilyn Munden. We own 1,500 acres at the bottom of South Garden Creek Road. We purchased the property in 2012 from Ralph Wheatley. And at the time, our plans were to have a ranch and have access to it. Ralph, all we knew was that it was a no winter maintenance road. We didn't know the history. We have since found the history from Ralph Wheatley, but that's his to attest to. I can't speak for him. The road, whether it's a public or a private road, I don't have years of history. I've had a lot of people tell me it wasn't maintained until a certain time, whether that's enough time and what records you have. I don't have access to those. But the problem has become that you've chosen to close the road, and it has significantly impacted me for the last 7 years, financially, emotionally, the stress, and our business and our ranch has been significantly impacted. And whether it's a public or private road, I guess the question is I don't believe you do have the right to just designate it however you want and restrict my access to my property. And so whether or not you determine that it's a public or private road and whether you have the obligation to maintain it, I guess is a matter of legal stance and records. But it has significantly impacted my family. And I have a lot of money invested in the property. And we started in 2012, and to my knowledge, they graded the road in the spring, cleared it off, was not groomed. It was just no winter maintenance. And when we built our home, when we started to build our barn up there, we signed a thing that said it was no winter maintenance, and we realized it was no winter maintenance. And it wasn't within a year, we were informed by a letter that we were not allowed to plow the road, do anything to the road, and in 2019, you proceeded to designate it as a council, as a designated snowmobile trail whenever you decided at your discretion. And not only have we not agreed with that, you guys have also never notified us when you were going to close the road. You just went up there and put up signs and put a big 5-foot berm in the road and proceeded to create a lot of problems. Several times we had over 100 head of cattle up there and had to break through it and ship our cows out. Or we had to rush up there and hurry and try to get calves out of the ranch. And so now it causes us to have to remove our entire herd in November and pay extra pasture, pay for somebody to feed our cattle, and all of those things. And so I have millions of dollars invested, and the road is within
Chair.
my property. There's no easement.
Her
So,
time is up.
yeah, it's fine. I appreciate it. So,
Thank you.
thank you.
Sorry.
Very good. Okay, Dennis.
All right. Morning, Commissioners. My name is Dennis Munden, and our property is at 6059 Garden Creek Road. We have 1,500 acres on the lower part of that road. I'd just like to stipulate that the road still is in our name. I mean, we got title to it. That means that you must have a prescriptive easement through it, right? I mean, that's the way I look at it. One of the things I wanted to bring up is when we first started going through this process and trying to get the road director who I don't know, two road directors or whatever, previous to the current director, he actually came up and he told me they were going to start plowing that road through the winter. And the reason why he told me that is because he says he got enough people up there to open that road. He says there shouldn't even be a problem. Well, I don't know what happened to him. All of a sudden he's gone and the new guy came in, and all of a sudden you guys shut it down and you put it as a snowmobile trail. After I talked to Ken Bull, he was in there previously. And Ken informed me in a private meeting that we needed to come to a meeting and we needed to specifically ask to have that road plowed. Because there, in your road department or in your county commission or whatever, I mean, I don't know about now, but previously, there was no direction on how you open up a closed road right now. I mean, how do you do it? I mean, I don't know. And that's one thing I'd like to, clear up. How do you get a road open? I know a lot of farmers that you put the these restrictions on them. They've got hay on closed roads now, and you're telling them they can't even get up there. And that's not just on our road. This is on all of Bannock County roads now. And I don't think that's fair to any of them. That's all I got.
Okay, thank you. Linda Burnham?
My name's Linda Burnham. I have property in the area of Garden Creek Road. And I wanted to know just what was happening here. We have farmed in that area for a lot of years. As far as I know, that road on Garden Creek has always been a public road. I've been in the area for, actually as a farming entity for about 60 years. So I know even before that, there was still Garden Creek Road that you could drive on as public road. And all the years we've been out there, there's a lot of roads in that same area that have signs up that says winter maintenance only. No winter maintenance. And so, and I believe that Garden Creek Road, now this I don't know for a fact, but I understanding through other people that Garden Creek Road has been designated as a snowmobile road for residents of Bannock County to use. So that's about all I know about Garden Creek Road, and I have no complaints to leave it like it is.
Okay,
Thank you.
Thank you. I don't see anybody else on the list. We did receive testimony from Ralph Wheatley via email, so that is in the record as well. So with that, I will accept a motion to close the public hearing.
Mr. Chairman, I'd make a motion that we close the public hearing.
We have a motion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Mr. Burmester, would you talk about maintenance and the items that John listed that we need to have to declare a public road?
Yes, Kyle Burmester, Public Works Director. So in this, in our findings, we found a few different things, starting off with maintenance. Started in 1946. I just pulled up 20 years because I didn't want to go quite that far. So in the last 20 years, we've spent $586,278 in chloride, gravel, blading, them kind of things. So we have been maintaining it. We did find also, so we proved maintenance. Going through, Bannock County staff found that there was meeting notes from 1946 where it says, on the petition of Richard L. Williams and others for opening a portion of the Garden Creek Road through sections 27 and 34, Township 9, Range 35, and to improve all the existing roadway east of Power County line. And that was, as I said, in 1946. Also different, like I said before, we do our general highway maps that we have a open meeting on and get them approved every 5 years. This map here dated back to 1958 was signed off as Garden Creek being a maintained county road.
Okay, so to the best of your knowledge, it meets the maintenance and no significant changes criteria?
Yes, so from what we've looked at, we versed a map from the 1958 to our map now, and there's been no significant changes in the road, and we've proved maintenance.
Okay. So today's discussion must focus solely on public use, or this being, the road being validated, no discussion as far as snowmobile access or winter maintenance or anything like that. It's just validating that this is a public road, correct?
Well, I'd say that whether there's been access to recreational vehicles could be considered by the commission as whether it's in the public interest to maintain or to declare it as a public road.
Okay, all right, thank you. Commissioners,
So
discussion?
along that line, you guys just took over the snow grooming. Do you know how long this road has been groomed by a snow groomer? And how long it's been designated as a snowmobile?
I don't. I know I've lived my whole life there, and it's not just been recent. It's been over 20 years that I know of that it's been part of that grooming plan. There is options of where we can look and talk to the state about grooming roads, but this was a groom trail and a no winter maintenance as people started to buy property on it.
Commissioner Bullock?
It's interesting that I've used that access probably most of my life. In the summertime, we used four-wheel drives, and we would go clear up on top of the mountain. On a motorcycle, I remember driving that road clear into Mink Creek. So I know the public has been using that road as a public road. So I don't think that's an issue that we've been using it. But I remember in 1973 riding snowmobiles up through there during the winter, and there was no maintenance winter maintenance, I know, in 1973. So I don't know if, the issue to me isn't that it's a public road. There are other public roads that set precedent too. There's a bench road right across the top from Goodenough Canyon clear to Garden Creek that is an established road, but there is no winter maintenance on it either. It's not groomed, everything else, so it's not new to have a road that is not accessible during the winter by the county. They designate certain roads that they plow based on occupancy. It's not a new precedent. I totally understand why that one does have the no winter maintenance, because if you've ever been back there and the wind blows, you could try to plow that road one day and in 5 hours it would be filled back in. So proper use of that road, there's drifts in there. I can understand years ago why they put the stipulation of no winter maintenance. The Bannock County does not have the resources to keep every road that is a public road open. And at some point, they've got to designate, some of the roads, we're not plowing them. And we've been requested before on that road right across the bench. There was a couple of houses up there they wanted it plowed. It was denied then because I was part of that even as the city. There's always an issue with maintenance. If you can't maintain the road, then you can't send fire trucks up there. You can't send ambulances up there. That's the risk that you have when it is a public road. Can you get emergency access to it? So it's not as simple as we have a house here, but can we realistically put snow equipment in there, keep it open, and can it be accessible? So with my input through the years, I know Mr. Williams, I don't know if I don't remember all those houses up in there, but there wasn't nothing up in there when I was young, when we used to travel that road. So in my opinion, I think the way it is being operated right now is in the best interest of the county. That's probably why it was established. That was why on the building permit that was issued for the Munden family, it clearly states no winter maintenance. And so that was clear information at the time. So in my opinion, as far as this meeting, we're really talking about whether it's a public road. It is a public road. Now, the winter maintenance issue, I think that's another issue, but my historical stuff is, yes, it's a public road, but how do we access it? We have to think of the financial structure and when all this took place, and I totally agree that it should be a no winter maintenance during the winter, just because of the things that I've explained.
Well, my question, go ahead.
One further question on that then. Who designates snowmobile trails, grooming?
I don't know for sure from just coming into it, whether the state worked on that with the county previously. I don't know. Do you know?
And I believe it is the state that designates them.
The state that
And that's
designates.
the stickers that people get when they do their parking and everything else.
So this,
Those are regulated by the state, and that is what pays for the grooming of the trails. It comes from state funds, not county funds.
yes.
Okay. Well, as stated by council, the question we're here to answer today is validation in the public's best interest. And again, we're not talking about snow grooming, we're not talking about winter maintenance, it's just, is validation in the public's interest? And based on the information that we have, I would say that the answer is yes. So,
With that, with the information that we received and by legal, by the road maintenance, I make the motion that yes, that is a public highway maintained by the city and designated on the road map as a public highway. Public, I don't know if you call it a highway, that's probably not the right word, but a public right of way.
Established
Established
county road.
road.
okay. Okay, we have a motion. Any further discussion on the motion?
No.
Okay, hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
It's unanimous. That road is validated as a public right-of-way. At this point in time, the meeting is now